Welcome back to DXB Today. A fairly unique episode, this one. Something for you and your pets to enjoy. Hope you're taking away a lot from the show and watching alongside your furry friends at home. Right, let's get to our next guest, because if you love dogs, but you just aren't that ready to own one yourself, then why not become a volunteer at K9 Friends, just like our next guest did. Sidi Moloko joins us now live here on the show and on the sofa. Sidi, good to have you with us. Thanks for being with us. Look, anybody that's on socials at the moment will know that there are no shortage of stories, situations out there at the moment. In terms of pets, or more specifically dogs as well, what's the current situation here in Dubai?
So in Dubai, the current situation is mostly people wanting to either relocate with their pets, as Lee has explained to you, or people are actually now wanting to foster or adopt them.
Okay.
A lot of people are looking to foster because it is a great way to help shelters that might be overwhelmed, but it is also a good way to know if you're ready to have a dog. Just one of the best ways to do that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Lee?
And what's the number one piece of advice for somebody who hasn't previously had a dog and is looking to adopt?
Foster. Foster a dog or foster a cat with a reputable shelter or an agency, and see how that goes for you. Because having a pet, any pet in your life, is a change in lifestyle. If you have a dog, you have to decide the walks, the vet, the training. If you have a cat, you have to know when to come feed your cat and things like that. But for dogs, it's a bigger lifestyle change than it is for other animals. So foster, so you know if you can make that lifestyle change.
So how are associations like K9 Friends helping with rehoming friends, our little four-legged friends, and reducing abandonment issues that might currently be higher than normal here in the UAE?
So I am very happy to report that more people want to relocate their pets in general than want to abandon them. Surrendering a dog or surrendering a pet is usually their last resort, and shelters like us are there to help with that. In terms of rehoming, we obviously put them on social media. We talk about these lovely stories, the lovely dogs we have, and have families come in and take them home in the process of rehoming and adoption.
That's lovely to hear that there's not so many dogs being left behind. That's really nice to hear.
Abandonment happens throughout the year. What we tell people is if there is a situation where you have to surrender a dog, it's going to happen regardless of what's happening in the world. If you're not able to take care of a pet for whatever reason that may be, it's a possibility. And then there are shelters that are there to help.
Sidi, you were talking about fostering earlier on and how you're encouraging it. Let's say there's someone watching right now who is interested in fostering. Could you take us through the process? How would they go about this?
So you would call a shelter like ours, you'd call K9 Friends first, and we would ask you a series of questions to see what your lifestyle is like, see, what kind of dog fits your requirement, and then you'd come into the shelter for an appointment. And we'd show you a couple of dogs that work for your lifestyle, and then you can foster a dog. Minimum foster is for 2 weeks, and a lot of the times after 2 weeks we say what happens is a foster fail, where they end up adopting the dog. So it could happen where you get lucky and a dog gets adopted out of that.
K9's a non-profit organisation.
Yes, we're a non-profit.
There are a number of non-profit organisations helping animals, pets here in the region. What are the sort of key services that a non-profit can provide, and what are the sort of misunderstanding? What's the sort of support that non-profits really need from the community and elsewhere to help owners but pets as well?
So non-profits like ours, we need support in terms of funding. People need to know about what we do, and more people need to be adopting from us. And there needs to be a lot of education around pet ownership in this country. People are getting very good at doing their research right now. It wasn't so back in the day, but people are getting very good now. And that's one good thing that's come out of all the shelters, educating pet owners constantly by telling them this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to take care of your pets, and this is the process for it.
And what are some positive news stories that you've seen coming out of Canine Friends recently?
So we had a family come in who wanted to adopt just one dog because they had an ex-canine dog. They wanted to come adopt another dog. And we had just received a litter of 18 puppies. We showed them a couple of them, and this family fell in love with 2 and took both of them home. Cupid and Rudolph, they are on our Instagram page if you want to see, and both those dogs got a home that day. So it was really lovely to see that. Yeah.
So what role does the community play in supporting yourselves?
So what we do ask the community is, 1, adopt, don't shop. The second one we tell them is, if you are able to always support us on social media, give us a shout out. It's easy, it's free, it's the easiest thing to do if you want to support a shelter. And the third one is getting memberships or any other form of funding that any other shelters do. We have a membership scheme that we encourage people to get, where that is how the shelter gets funded. That's what we do.
I really like what you mentioned earlier, Siddhi, where we have to educate the public.
Yes.
And you actually ask the questions like your lifestyle and the kind of pet for you. Other than lifestyle, what are the key things that people, do you think, need to know about or consider before they actually foster or adopt?
The key things people need to consider is basically the space they have and the time they have. Time is a big factor. So getting any pet in your life, whether it's a dog or a cat or bird, you have to give it time. That time in the morning to walk it. Do you have time to feed the dog? Do you have time to take the dog to the vet? So it's time. That is one of the big things you have to consider. A second thing to consider is the costs associated with owning a pet in this country. Vet costs, food, and then relocations. We are a country of expatriates, and a lot of the times we want to take our pets back with us. So relocation is a cost you have to consider.
We have focused a lot, Siddhi, on the 4-legged friends of Canine Friends in this chat. But what about the 2-legged friends as well, the individuals that give their time? To those out there that want to do their bit, I mean, we know that the shelters are busy at the moment. We know that you guys are pushed to the limits as well. But is there room for more volunteers?
Of course, we always want more volunteers. We need volunteers who would come in to the shelter, do kennel work, do admin work. We also have a program which we run during the winters, which is called a dog walking program. So people who can't commit 100% of their time or a lot of the time can come walk dogs for us. And then we also have student volunteering, which we enable children between the age of 13 to 16 to come into shelter to do their student volunteering. And we announce all these programs on our Instagram page. So if you see the announcement, please call us and sign up.